YouTube. Oh, whoa. Why is that happening today? That shouldn't be a thing today. I apologize for that. Welcome to the final match of the day. We are watching the folks from White Tigers going at it against OUO in the final match of the day, the final round of 32. After this, we will know the final results of all the matches, and those who are victorious will make it to the round of 16. This indeed is the final match of the group stage of the playoffs. From here on out, it's a knockout situation. Top 16 go into a 1v1 of death. Going all the way to the finals, we will have a round of 16, a semifinal, a quarterfinal, semifinal, and a final coming up very, very soon in the next couple of weeks. For now, we get to enjoy one of the biggest, baddest alliances in the game, duke it out against OUO in a group that is a little bit weird. Thankfully for Legends Gaming, in their past match, they managed to overcome the folks at OUO and clinch their first victory. OUO, who took a victory against P185, found themselves at a crossroads. Unfortunately for them, the only way for them out of this group right now is to beat the White Tigers, while Legends Gaming got themselves a little bit lucky because the Pokemons of 185 are nowhere to be found. And so as soon as Legends managed to go over OUO, their next victim, 185, was really, really simple. And now with a 2-2-1-0 score on this group, for OUO to potentially make it out of here alive, they have to beat the big boy Tigers. And if they do, then we'll have 3 teams with 2 wins, and who the heck knows who will make it out of there from there on. Let's look at the teams. Let's look at the people involved in this matchup. Of course, the folks of White Tigers. 3 billion power, 3.042 to be exact, almost 0.4043. Very, very close to that. These folks have some of the biggest players in the game. Of course, one of our co-casters and one of the content creators for Rise of Kingdoms, Chisco Gaming, will be on the field for the White Tigers as they battle against OUO in an attempt to secure themselves their first place in the group. On the other side of that are OUO, 2.317 billion power alliance. These guys are a bit far away when it comes to power, but they are above that 2 billion power mark that, in my opinion, signifies an alliance that requires healing, that does not have the full set of troops. While once you cross that 2 billion power, I believe you can get through an Arc of Osiris with very little to no healing done. So these guys are going to brawl it out. And the folks of OUO are really looking to try to win this because they're trying to keep themselves alive in any shape or form. And in this matchup, the folks at Legends Gaming are actually cheering for White Tigers, who can secure Legends Gaming future in the playoffs if they win this victory. White Tigers are not only securing their own spot, but also LG's with a victory. So LG and Kingdom 196 are definitely keeping an eye on this match, hoping that the folks at White Tigers pull through. Now, betting, you guys really had very little to no faith in the folks of OUO. Some people did bet the odds and went for the OUO play, but I believe the consensus within the community is that the White Tigers are about to run with a match, and we're about to find that out the hard way, I guess. Speaking of White Tigers, we've been talking a lot lately about strategy, about tactics, about how you implement different tactics within a strategy, but you know, we've realized that some of you might not necessarily know the difference between a strategy and a tactic. So to help us out, Chisco Gaming made a really, really good explanation as to what a strategy and what a tactic is. Let's go take a look at that very quickly and see if we can learn a thing or two.
What's going on, Governor? Chisco here, and today we're going to give you 3 quick tips to win your Arc of Osiris battles, whether you're fighting in League or playing with your friends, with your alliance, in regular matches. It's no coincidence that we've got Sun Tzu on the screen, who was, by the way, a tactical genius. At least this is what it says up here. He's even written a book about waging war. We're going to pull from his tips, by the way, in our list of things over here. That's right, The Art of War. It's a real book. I think what he's holding in his hand over here, too, is a representation of the original Art of War, which he wrote on little sheets of bamboo that were stitched together that were like the size of chopsticks. Pretty nuts. Now, there's a lot to talk about here with regard to how you can go and win. But if we were to boil it all down to 3 quick tips, here is what I would offer you. First and foremost, define with your alliance what strategy you are using. And we need to define this word strategy. Strategy is the big picture approach for how you will win. Is it taking more arcs and focusing on that? Is it focusing on structures? Or is it maybe something in between? And of course, there's all kinds of wacky strategies you could use, like we're going to rally everybody's cities and, somehow that pressure is going to make us win other parts of the battle. But for the most part, it's those 3 different big picture strategies that we should be talking about. Are we going for structures? Are we going for arcs? Or are we doing some blend where we maybe start with structures, go for arcs at the end, or vice versa? Those are the big picture strategies you could use. Now, once you've agreed on your strategy with your alliance, the second thing that you should do is figure out what tactics you will use to go and win. Tactics are the things you do specifically to execute your strategy. So, for instance, if one of our strategy is to hold more buildings, one tactic would be which commanders we use to defend those structures. A tactic would be figuring out who and how we're going to reinforce structures on an ongoing basis if it's getting rallied. A tactic, if you are rallying something, will be, hey, what commanders will we use for that rally? Or every time we launch a rally on something, we're going to send 2 solo marches with it. If it's a commander that's got some healing that we're going to go attack, we're going to make sure we bring some counters to healing. Or maybe we're going to bring commanders that do debuffs like Ethelfled, or commanders that buff like Joan of Arc. Those are tactics to execute against your strategy. If your strategy was, we're going to run the arcs, then your tactic might be, at 2 minutes before the arc spawns, we're going to send everybody to the middle. That is a tactic. So as we talk about the battle, we need to know what's the strategy and what are the tactics. And as you watch these battles and you're chatting about them in the comments, which you should totally do, talk about what strategy you see at play, talk about the tactics you see at play. The last thing we need to talk about, the third step, is to test and learn. I know in my alliance, White Tigers, we are always trying something new, and it's no secret to the members of the alliance what it is that we're going and testing. Some small number of people who are at least conducting the test all know, like, hey, here's the thing we're trying a little bit differently this time. Let's see if it's better or not. Hopefully you found these tips to be helpful. Start using them, and I promise you'll start to get some better results. Get your alliance members on the same page for the strategy. Figure out what tactics you're going to use, and test and iterate every single time so that you get better and better and better. Let's send it back to you at the desk, Gecko, and good luck.
All right, thank you very much, Chisco Gaming. We are about a minute out of the match to start, and the real question now remains, who will be victorious? Will it be the folks of White Tigers, or will it be OUO coming in knowing that they have to give it hell? They have to give it everything they got in order to win this potential match, and if they do manage to take out the White Tigers, there is a space for them to make it out into the playoffs. And as funny as that sounds, there is a weird, crazy world if some crazy math works out where the Tigers could find themselves out of the match. I highly doubt that is the case. But again, if White Tigers don't show up and OUO take advantage of that to show as much as they can, a 3-man 2-win tie could be hugely problematic for this team, for this group, and we're really looking forward for that. And as the match slowly fills in, it is time to get into the observer mode, get into the open field, and see how we can get into this big boy Ark of Osiris coming up. With me co-casting today will potentially be Big Rick. We're waiting to get him on the line, and once that happens, Big Rick will be joining me through the cast of this final match. So, let's send it over to the, battlefield, and we can continue from there. All right, Ark of Osiris. Osiris League is upon us. The final match, White Tigers against OUO, is finally here. The last match of the day. We're looking at a minute 47 remaining on the preparation clock as these guys start to start porting in. OUO showing up with decent numbers. We're still seeing a little bit of holes in their teleporting, including what seems to be like the leader of OUO. So hopefully by the time this timer goes down, everything is ready to go, and we will be able to hopefully spectate a great Ark of Osiris coming up. OUO against White Tigers, a minute 14 remaining. And what is one of the most important things you guys got to keep your eye on right now? First of all, our friend Chiskel Gaming showing up on the field right here. Very good luck to you, Chiskel. King of Armenia in here, as well as many other folks from White Tigers, Regal, and many other very known names showing up to go head-to-head. And these guys are no joke. These guys have their full presence in here. The presence of King Talib in the back as well. Shout out to King Talib, who is one of the most known and notorious players out there, who has been doing tremendous work for his alliance. 36 seconds remaining, and as we slowly and steadily try to get Big Rick into the matchup, we can continue looking here at both teams until this 20-second timer goes down and the gates of hell open up, and from there we go crazy. Let's take a look right here. Well, all right, with 10 seconds to go, we are just about ready for that gate to open up. And let's take a look at the White Tigers sending out the masses of troops, and let's see what they can come up with. Keep an eye on the rally counter as the rallies start popping up. 4 rallies already. Early match, early on. 6, 7 rallies. Can we get the 8th one to complement it and keep things even? 8 rallies. Bam, right there. 4 of each side on the 4 obelisks. We're looking at a pretty standard and pretty standard situation right here for a beginning of a match. These folks are looking to get some troops out on the field or to potentially catch their enemies off guard, grab a very early obelisk. We're looking at 29 against 26. The folks of White Tigers having a little bit of issues with individuals today, as it is the Thanksgiving, the Canadian Thanksgiving. And so they weren't necessarily able to field all their players. They have 1 missing from what I'm seeing, and it's a 29 against 26 OUO with a few reinforcements coming in, what I would assume is after the clock began, and so the backups are in. Right now, the real question is who will make the first move, whose rally will hit what first, or will all rallies cancel? White Tigers are already marching. Mex's rally is already out, and it is aimed at their opposition's obelisk. That rally is indeed marching. 3 marches are waiting for the folks of White Tigers, so a little bit of a miscoordination in the rallies early on, but no worries. The other rallies by OUO as well, having a little bit of a little small struggle when it comes to the beginning. I assume this has to do also with the timer of the rally. Potentially the rally is full, but the timer is still missing a few seconds. Another rally here is marching, 1 for OUO, and this one's going for their obelisk to defend their top obelisk. But the biggest threat for them right now is the bottom, as all 4 rallies march for all teams. We're going to start either seeing them breaking apart on the way to the obelisks or a potential obelisk hit happening very, very soon. With that being said, let's make sure we can get ourselves with a Big Rick on the line. Make sure that he can come join us onto this cast. Hopefully we can get him on the line momentarily. But for now, blue team is, and there we go. Let's take a quick peek, make sure. Hey, Big Rick. How's it going, my man?
What's going on, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good, good.
Great. Chat, please keep us honest and let us know if the sounds fantastic and or you have any issues, any problems. For now, the match has started. OUO picking up both their obelisks, and so are White Tigers. The map is fairly clear. Both teams doing everything they need in the first couple of minutes to secure their own buildings, and now they're waiting 2 minutes for the altars and shrines to unlock. And while that's happening, Big Rick, there are 4 rallies still marching on the open field towards the different obelisks that belong to each team. Big Rick, do you think any of these rallies will hit, or are these just rallies to move troops up on the field?
I think at this point, everyone's just using rallies to move troops, just to pre-stage. I haven't seen but one instance today where someone actually completed the rally and was able to take an enemy obelisk.
So the chat here is telling us that, okay, that there's a little bit of static on your line, but you're good. They can hear you. Other than that, fantastic. And so I think you're right. I'm seeing already rallies being canceled, moving up to the top. OUO's rally broke apart right next to this desert altar and went to secure the open field in this area. I am looking at both teams so far canceling the one rally. Mexa's rally is still marching, crossing the field towards the obelisk that belongs to OUO. White Tigers seem to either want a much more forward positioning on their rally or still trying to hit this thing as the rally evaporated in front of our eyes. This is a small bug, and now we can see it's still marching down. It's going right by all of these OUO red marches straight towards the obelisk. And that obelisk has a rally just hitting it. Therefore, this obelisk should be super well secured, full of troops and some troops on the open field right next to it. There are people emphasizing on the Shrine of Life. Thank the Lord. That's the one building people usually forget about. And the desert altar is pretty secure. It looks like very good open field positioning by OUO early on. Cavalry rallies in the beginning on an obelisk that is completely full. Is that not a waste of a rally from the White Tiger folks?
Yeah, that's crazy. They're actually full rally Minamoto. They just broke it up. I think they just weren't paying attention.
Yeah, I think that this was a march that was supposed to stop quite further back and someone wasn't paying attention to it. As the buildings unlock, look at the jump on these buildings. The guys of OUO went for the desert altar that is supposed to be a White Tiger desert altar up on the top, and of course they secured their bottom area very quickly. There are 2 buildings up on the top still without owners. The folks from OUO marching what looks like a very slow infantry march towards that sky altar, which will now be secured in their favor. The map is split. White Tigers do have a slight advantage as they picked up their initial buildings a little bit earlier than the folks of OUO. And so as of this instant, the points per minute game is even. But up until this moment, the guys from White Tigers had a slight advantage in the points per minute game, which net them a 69-point lead. And now OUO locking in their teleports, porting forward 29 against 30. 2 teleports available for White Tigers and 1 available for the folks of OUO. And OUO on the open field looking really, really good right now.
Oh, wow, yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Looks like they're going to try and just swarm the desert altar here and just take that back. It's being defended by a Khan, I believe.
So yeah, this desert altar is right now White Tiger's top priority. It is defended by a Khan Cao Cao it's a level 60 Alexander Martel. Whoa, no, you were right. It was a Khan Cao Cao. Cool. So the Cao Cao in here and the Khan really are going to be a huge problem for the guys of OUO because White Tigers know their top priority right now is to get this altar back within the next minute and 20 and 11 seconds and not allow the guys of OUO to have first occupation bonus on this desert altar. The desert altar has already done its job, practically. It's been in the hands of OUO for 2 minutes, which will delay White Tigers' occupation of this building by 2 full minutes, which means the guys of OUO will have a 150 point per minute lead for 2 minutes on White Tigers before the map is evenly matched out. And so the folks of the guys of OUO are really looking to delay as much as they can, the inevitability that is the damage that the White Tigers are coming to do. But to have 2 minutes of 150 point per minute lead is probably the best thing they could have asked for early game. So Big Rick, if you have to choose right now between a map that is split across evenly, which building is the next building that you give the most priority to when it comes to attempting to occupy as a post first occupation? As you can see, all the buildings locking in for first occupation with the exception of the top altars. Which building is the one White Tigers should be really aiming for at this point?
Honestly, I'd be working hard on this bottom desert altar, Bravo desert altar, enemy side, and honestly, both altars, both enemy altars, I would be grinding at with rallies back to back until we capped them.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. The folks of OUO have such a huge presence on the field, but they are neglecting their desert altar. They're not now reinforcing a little bit their desert altar. That desert altar really needs to keep getting reinforced and stay holding and stay red for as long as it can stay. With all these open field marches, there has to be a bit more reinforcements that this building can use, but too much focus on the open field for OUO meant the White Tigers managed to slip through the cracks and pick up this desert altar. And this desert altar is now a big boy problem for OUO because this is the one that they really need to be able to hold on to, and they want to keep this very slight lead. They have about 700 points in their favor, and the point per minute game still ticking in their favor. Chisco Gaming Shrine of Life rally is looking very juicy. His Alexander doing work against this what looks like an Edward followed by a YSG. Not a swarm happening around here, so that Edward is really not doing that. The YSG is not doing that extra damage that the individuals of OUO really want to have available. And so right now, this Shrine of Life is going down, and it's going down fast. Chisco Gaming not letting this slide.
Yeah, it looks like the OUO is concentrating more on the arc right now. They are sending a massive overload of troops to the center.
Yeah.
They're actually pulling away from their desert altars and walking right past the enemy just to put people in the center.
And yeah, so it looks like this is pretty much what they're gunning for right now. The center is looking like a big boy brawl. 2 minutes remaining before this really becomes a big problem for the folks of White Tigers. White Tigers are slowly showing up in here and pushing red back. OUO getting pushed back. There is a cloud of red being held by what looks like a set of 2 or 3 different White Tiger folks who have just made like a nice little circle around these reds and are just strictly hitting them as hard as they can. OUO keeps pouring in more presence on the open field, and so it's going to be a very difficult task very early on for the White Tigers to get this Ark of Osiris. But quite frankly, for them, the Ark of Osiris is not really a concern. This is not a concern for the folks of White Tigers right now because they own the 4 altars. With 4 altars through the whole map, it really, there's very little to nothing that can be done in here for the folks of OUO to even get a chance at this point. They really have to start stepping up the altar game.
Yeah, and they just White Tigers just hit with a rally on the Shrine 4 Alpha side, and it doesn't look like OUO is really going to support it. They're all still marking to the center.
Looks like, yeah, Shrine of War really taking a beating. King Bob going hard at it, not only with the rally.
They're just marching right past it.
They did march right past it. Jasper, though, is marching straight into it with what looks like infantry and range. So he's trying to set a mixed set of troops in to kind of try to counter a little bit what's going on in here. That extra reinforcement on the Shrine of War was critical, but really, OUO need to do such a better job at holding on to buildings at this stage. Looks like White Tigers are rallying, and that's that.
Yeah, all the White Tigers have to do is cap that, and it's down for 2 minutes. So OUO should have worried about that. They should have turned those 5 marches up to help support it, to at least hold it until the arc showed up. Because right now they're just open field battling. The arc is out now.
Yes, sir. Arc is out, and it was actually dropped on the side of red. It was dropped on the side that requires White Tigers to carry it around towards their side. 15 seconds worth of a march is what they'll have to pay. It looks like Yun picked up this arc regardless, and red team is not looking to back down. The problem for them is the folks of OUO, their huge issue is that the march time on this arc right now is about, let's go see if we can get a click on this march. It should be a good two-ish minutes. Within 2 minutes, this 3,000 points should make it in the favor of, potentially in the favor of the folks at OUO. The biggest problem with all of this is they're losing the points per minute game so badly. 910 points per minute versus the 110 on OUO's side, that quite frankly, by the time this march makes it all the way back home, most of the lead that this arc will be giving the guys at OUO will go away. And the most likely thing is it will not impact the gameplay almost at all, as White Tigers are almost already banking enough of a lead so that they can let this arc go and maintain their lead very, very comfortably as they just slowly and steadily take over the map.
Tigers just took the Bravo enemy out obelisk.
Yes, they did. The one of many.
Knocked that right in.
Yeah, one of many blows that are gonna be the story and the end of this match and this group, allowing both White Tigers and Legends Gaming to progress to the next stage, is exactly this, Big Rick. The obelisk falling, King Talib with a bunch of marches nearby, really making sure he keeps the pressure on. They're trying to get this obelisk secured, and in 1 minute and 33 seconds, port down this way and really put the first nail in the coffin of this match, which is place yourself behind enemy lines. As a matter of fact, you're placing yourself right next to your enemy's line, which is so detrimental because the biggest thing about Ark of Osiris is, on top of the fights, of course, time. And when you walk back and forth from your city, you're wasting a substantial amount of time being off the field and off the war. When you manage to teleport to an enemy's obelisk, you are cutting down such a substantial march time that, my goodness, the guys from White Tigers can really run out with this. Now the real question... Yeah, go ahead, Big Rick.
So I'm looking at their plan is to take it back to the Alpha Obelisk. The problem with that I see is T setting several rallies towards that obelisk, or a rally towards that obelisk, and loading their troops down to prepare for the arc making it over there just in case.
Yeah, it looks like the folks of Red are really OUO trying to carry this arc anywhere, but White Tigers, while this is moving slowly and steadily, are not letting the arc go easy, and they're also not leaving much room for OUO to return the arc. There are very few buildings remaining in red. Now, finally, OUO's rally and swarm on this bottom obelisk is taking effect, but there are 3 seconds until that closes in the favor of White Tigers. I wonder if the folks of Tigers will sneak a port up to here before the obelisk falls, or they're not going to bother with placing themselves down here. King Talib on the open field still. I'm sure he was really looking forward to potentially port in here and keep being a nuisance. Nobody from White Tigers ported in. 5 teleports available thanks to this occupation.
They got it.
And they got it back.
So the Alpha Shrine has been taken by AUO. Now it's a much shorter march.
Yes, sir. The Shrine of War that is in the top side right here is back in OUO's hands. And if they can hold on to the building well enough, that arc can slowly make its way to the first delivery. But at this point, Big Rick, the arc, all it does is close the gap a little bit. Because with 810 points per minute in favor of White Tigers every single minute, it's going to be so difficult to even get anything done with this arc or without it. These guys are just running with a lead, and how do you close 810 points per minute without owning any altar, without owning your Shrine of Life anymore? OUO are really holding on by the skin of their teeth, and truthfully, Tigers are looking much, much stronger right now.
Yeah, they are throwing way too much into this arc. They are losing the entire map just to secure one arc.
Yeah, I think it's a big common mistake that people make. The assumption that an Arc of Osiris capture is what you need to win a match. A lot of folks lately have been emphasizing on arc carrying over many other Arc of Osiris needs. And so getting your arc is fantastic, but if it costs you the map, you're going to notice that when we started this conversation, if the folks of OUO instantly redeemed that Arc of Osiris, they would have had a 1,000-point lead. But White Tigers are just taking their sweet time, making sure this arc takes as long as it can. And now, even if the arc makes it in favor of OUO, there's nothing they can do. There's not enough points for them to close the lead that White Tigers have. And what now?
Yeah, they've lost that gap now.
Yes, they did. They lost the gap very badly.
Slowly trying to turn north. Yeah, they need to concentrate on rallying and getting their buildings back here, especially the Bravo side.
Yeah.
Get their life and their core back.
Definitely. At this point, it seems like everybody is focused only on the center. I'm seeing top marches just blasting to the center. I'm seeing bottom marches just blasting to the center. And the folks of White Tigers are taking the opportunity to keep a strong enough presence in the center while owning the buildings. So long as they own 4 altars, they are willing to play this game. They're willing to come in and 1v1 OUO for this Arc of Osiris until the end of existence. However, just as I say that, the arc starts making its way with Butter, who dropped it in the favor of the folks of blue of T. And that arc, even though it's closer to the red side, is slowly making its way back towards blue. And all the eggs that OUO put in this one Arc of Osiris basket are slowly fading away. And there could be a chance they won't even get an arc on top of losing the whole map. They won't even be able to pick up the one arc and accomplish the one thing they set out to do, which is secure an Arc of Osiris. Big Rick, which of these, we're seeing a lot of commanders on the open field. We're seeing a lot of big boy brawls and the arc dropping consistently. Out of these marches that you get to keep an eye on, take a look on the open field, which ones are you excited the most to see? Which pairs, which commanders do you think that we should be seeing more? You think we should be seeing less? And just in general, the big cloud of composition of commanders.
I'm glad to see a lot of Richards and Alex out there. Thank God there's not a bunch of, smaller non-PvP. I see some Khan, which is all right. There's only a few YSGs for some reason. I expected to see a lot more YSGs on the outskirts, kind of getting cheap shots in. It's definitely it's definitely a lot of open field battling for this one arc. It's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, and the amounts of
tanks. Some Minamotos, but I definitely expected to see a lot more YSGs in this.
And instead, what we're seeing,
they can only see 2.
And instead what we're seeing is much more of these Saladins showing up on the field. A lot of Richards here as well. I see an El Cid creeping in, trying to be a little bit of a nuisance. A couple of Ethelfleds here and there, especially on the side of White Tigers, going to show that they very much value the input Chisco Gaming has on the community, really, with his very big endorsement of Ethelfled. It looks like the folks of White Tigers are endorsing her as well. She is really helping slow down the pressure from the folks of OUO on Butter, who stopped out of nowhere with the arc. Kind of weird. Just stopped moving. But there are 3 Ethelfleds surrounding him, ready to go on him. And what is this? Are these guys making one big cluster? Is that a thing?
Yeah, my map right now is showing 4 arcs I don't know if this is a glitch or what's going on here, but I'm showing 4 arcs.
Whoa, okay, so we had a little bit of a lag.
Weird.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a lag, and when things back in place, we saw that the arc kept marching a bit forward, and now it is still marching. Butter still has it. It's making its way back. It crossed the center. All the way from the bottom red area, it went all the way to the top, through the center, into blue territory, and it is very close to being secured by the folks of White Tigers, who just made a sea of blue. All I see is a sea of blue marches who are just drowning these 1 or 2 red marches in between and around them. Oh boy. So after all of this
I don't know if it's just me or if they're seeing this too, but if these guys at the bottom of the arc are seeing 2 different arcs, that would be why they're fighting down at the bottom still. But I definitely see 3 different arc positions on my screen right now. I don't know if it's lag, just I'm seeing.
Yeah, it definitely is. There is 1 arc carried by Butter with a Pelagius on the marching towards a outpost of Isit, and quite frankly, it looks like this is going to get secured. Finally, we're seeing a little bit of open field and rally action. OUO kind of realizing, yeah, we kind of dropped the ball on this map. We need to go get it back. And so their issue is, because White Tigers had such a huge presence in the center, there are blue marches nearby this Shrine of War and in red territory that can be a huge problem for OUO to get back into this, as these solo marches are starting to reinforce the Shrine of War. They're chunking down the rally that is hitting this building and just being a complete nuisance. A Shrine of War rally, which should have been a pretty straightforward ordeal, became a big boy commitment. And recognizing that, the White Tigers send King Talib and Chiskel Gaming with some solo marches on the open field, trying to get the Shrine of Life back into their favor. There are red marches on the open field here, but they are fighting the fight and fighting the AoE rather than reinforcing the building. Hopefully they will do that as well. But for now, Chiskel Gaming is showing up with a Minamoto and his Ethelfled on the open field, trying to take down these open field fights. And as we say that, the game freezes, which is fantastic.
There's an Ethelfled rally on the Alpha Obelisk.
An Ethelfled-led rally? Interesting. Who launched that rally? Who from White Tigers launched this rally? Do not tell me Chiskel. Chiskel said that something like that's
Stabilizer.
Good. So these guys utilizing that Ethelfled in a rally, which is something we haven't really seen yet enough of, that's for sure. Let's get back into the match and take a look right here at what is going on. The map is blinking all over the place. 2 altars, well, 1 altar on the desert, on the White Tigers side, this desert altar being defended by a Kusunoki. A little bit of an oversight perhaps by White Tigers, as a swarm by Yun plus his rally are hitting this desert altar. And if this altar falls, it's the first one OUO held in the last 30 minutes, which will be really, really fantastic. Their comeback has to come within and from these altars. However, 14,000 points is no joke to close. And unless they manage to close this 680 points per minute versus 130 points per minute gap, and quickly and gain a substantial lead, 30 minutes remaining in the match is just not enough. And OUO are really under pressure right now. Really, really under pressure.
Yeah, they just got back their Desert Altar Bravo side, so hopefully they can get... They lost their life Bravo side, but gained the Desert Altar. So they definitely got to get buildings back, and they got to do an offensive.
They definitely do, but King of Armenia is not going to let this slide that easily. 4 marches coming in to swarm this Desert Altar. He thinks he can brute force his way through this, and I don't think he's necessarily wrong. If you look at the health of this Desert Altar, it is going down quickly. OUO really focused as Yun cannot do much but, you know, hit these open field marches. They need reinforcements to come in. Plenty of OUO members all over the place, but if they cannot hold on to Desert Altar for a split second, get those extra marches in there. And they lose it to a
They did.
solo march by King of Armenia.
Wow.
Boy, oh
They
boy.
did not even reinforce it. They rather open field battle than reinforce.
And of course they take the building back, right? King of Armenia was not born last night. He instantly dipped out of that building. His goal was to reset that clock. And now Chisco Gaming is coming in to do the exact same thing. He's looking to restart that clock, that 3-minute clock for the occupation of the desert altar for OUO. Finally, a little bit of reinforcements coming into this building. But as of right now, I believe there are 2 to 3 marches in here, which is just not enough to hold out someone like Chisco, who is coming in with 4 solo marches that aren't 100%, but they have plenty of tier 5s packed into them to take this desert altar back again. And OUO just not even noticing. They're doing everything they can, but just slipping in the last second. King Talib making things worse, rallying the bottom obelisk, not letting the folks of OUO breathe. Now marches coming in to deal with that, to hold on to their obelisk. Looks like that will be very well secured, but at what cost? At the cost of the desert altar, which goes blue once again. And now it's Chisco and King of Armenia holding on to this building. Completely different story than it was before. Again, King of Armenia bowing out of this hold. He is only here to slow down that clock, but now more White Tigers show up, refill this desert altar. And it never even occupied. The folks of OUO, 210 points against the 710 on the White Tigers. 23,000 against almost 7,000 points. This match, with 27 minutes remaining, is looking very, very grim, if not impossible, for the folks of OUO. So what's the next step?
Yeah, they definitely got to step it up.
Yeah, what's the next step here? White Tigers are just pushing everywhere. What do you do? How do you regroup out of this?
They have to lock down and defend their own shrines and lives before they even worry about pushing. They're too spread out, it looks like. They're trying to do too much at once instead of just lock their own territory down before they push an offensive. They really dug a hole fighting for that first arc, and I think it's really handicapped them.
Well, they are trying to make it back with a little bit of rally presences on the field, and a successful Sky Altar take is definitely good news. It does slow down the White Tigers down to 530 points per minute against the 130 on the OUO side. The thing here is, right, a lot of folks think that rallies are only a means to an offense, technically, as well as a defense. But you can use rallies to time your attacks and coordinate your moves a lot better. Because these things are launched with a minute's worth of a time plus a march speed, it gives you enough time to be able to react to where a rally is going. So ideally, the big mistake OUO are doing is they're not utilizing rallies to guide their open field. If you take a look at the Sky Altar up on the top, they did secure it, but all these open field marches have nothing to do right now, and so they went to clash right next to the Sky Altar with White Tigers, who are looking to put some presence on the open field here. If there were more rallies coming out of the red side, and there are more coming out, 3 more are mobilizing as we speak, these guys would have a little bit of more a utility. They would have a little bit of a to-do. Now they kind of are lingering around trying to figure out what the next move is. And even though, yes, OUO are slowly taking a little bit of the map back into their favor, 400 points per minute lead for White Tigers, and 17,000 points with an Ark of Osiris about to drop in 1 minute and 50 seconds, and the center is full blue. I believe that the folks at OUO right now are really just looking to refine a little bit of their extra tactics and gain their individual rewards, as they too, after a loss to White Tigers, will bow out of this tournament. So what else we have to keep a look at? Big Rick.
Yeah, I'm trying to lay out what they're trying to do here. They're just scattered all over the place. And my map keeps locking up on me, so I can't really focus too much here.
Yeah, it seems like, as you mentioned, they are lingering a bit too much. They don't really have it doesn't seem like they have a concrete target. It looks like the folks of White Tigers really have specific individuals with specific roles who are holding on to specific buildings. For example, we're looking at the desert altar that always has open field presence around it that comes from White Tigers, whether the building is blue or red. It has been consistently being taken back by the guys at White Tigers because of the slip-ups OUO are having when it comes to really not knowing where to position themselves. Chisco Gaming rallying the obelisk at the bottom. Yun, one of OUO's rally leader, is present down here and has 2 marches available, so he will probably be holding on to this obelisk while chunking down this Chisco rally. But while all that is happening, 4 other blue buildings were blinking, and all of a sudden 2 of them stopped. 2 rallies were taken out. 1 Shrine of War looking like a success for OUO in a moment about to capture this building up. And so can be said about the Desert Altar that is being well defended right now by the folks of White Tigers. Shrine of Life, another one about to fall in favor of red. Are they looking for healing right now? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, they're definitely starting to put somewhat of an offensive together to try and take stuff back. But in the same sense, Tigers are now applying even more pressure on them, and I don't think they can handle everything at once here.
Yeah,
so I doubt they're even going to be able to contest this arc. This arc's probably going to go straight to White Tigers.
Yeah, the White Tigers really put so much pressure across the map that what they did is they said, you guys want to keep playing? You guys are going to have to spread thin, and you guys are going to have to do some coordinated attacks, and you guys are going to have to really try to catch us off guard. And OUO said, well, challenge accepted. And so they rallied 4 buildings. They did take 2 of the 4. So half of the rallies being successful is an achievement. But in return, White Tigers said, okay, we'll just take this arc. 3,500 points to add it to their massive lead. Even though they are dropping the points per minute game, this is the closest these 2 teams have been to each other in the terms of points per minute in the last 20 minutes. 300 points in the favor of White Tigers. But they are so far ahead in the lead and now have the arc that they're willing to give up a couple of these buildings to really cement their win into this match by allowing Butter to carry this arc quite comfortably. And within 1 minute and 37 seconds, this will be all but over.
Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I would say the Tigers intentionally open field battle OUO just to keep them locked in the field and not reinforcing or rallying.
Yeah,
because if they lock them in the field, they can't get back to the city to join or set rallies. And I saw a lot of the open field in between buildings.
Yeah, I think that White Tigers really used up their positioning on the map correctly to honey trap the folks of OUO. It really looks like every opportunity OUO had to clash in the open field they took, and White Tigers were willing to oblige. They do not mind at all to show at the end of this match OUO with hundreds of millions of kills more in their favor. White Tigers don't care how many troops they die so long as, well, they really don't have to heal. What they're looking for is for those points on the top center of the screen. That's what they're looking for. And so they're willing to fight the open field and 1v1 the folks of OUO, who, by the way, haven't won these open field fights. Even if they did, though, it's not the name of the game, and it's not how you win an Ark of Osiris, and it's definitely not how OUO had a chance at making it to the playoffs. With Butter making his way further back with his with the Ark of Osiris, OUO has a march here, being a little bit of a nuisance. It's about to cut off the Ark carrier, and a little bit of a slip up maybe by Butter, who is now aiming back towards the outposts of Iset. I don't think he'll be the OUO march is going to be doing enough damage. I don't believe it's going to be doing enough damage to force Butter off of this arc. But this is the play we were missing in the past couple of casts. This right here. The force of successfully escorting an Ark of Osiris. We had a match previously where the Ark sat by the obelisk all match long. And finding the right time and right way to push the Ark carrier to deliver the Ark is a crucial play. I'm really glad we got to see it in this cast today, to see one team who did push the Ark holder all the way to require him to escort the Ark. So
yeah, I'm surprised. I think he was trying to take it to the outpost of Iset, maybe even sit there just to lock it down so no other arc would spawn.
I think so too. I definitely think that if Butter had a chance to hold on to this arc for a lot longer, he would have, which is why I really like the play that was done here by the individual of OUO and the red team. He showed up with the 1 March, threatening and ready to go, and he is still present back here, trying to take outposts, trying to be a pain in the butt of the existence of White Tigers. All of these outposts seem to be fairly well secured, which will be a problem for him. And this tactic of taking away these outposts, which are 90 points per minute, nothing very significant. But at this point, when you're trying to close a gap, any point you can take away from the enemy matters. And so we're seeing a lot more of these outpost takes. 90 points per minute is not how you win a game, but it's how you hold on to a lead and you're potentially able to start putting pressure on the other team with something as simple as 3 outposts in your favor and more points sticking to your side. King of Armenia was not letting this Shrine of Life rally fall. Oh no, he showed up with extra reinforcements and made sure that damn bottom Shrine of Life goes blue. He ain't about losing that rally. And look at all the red presence around the Shrine of Life, and it still falls.
Yeah, I was half expecting to see them set rallies on the enemy rallies with a Ethel, just for all the bragging he does on that hero, so we could get to see some action. They're not really pressuring.
Chisco did promise to us to get a little Ethelfled rally if he has the option to, so we might be able to see that still this match. But one thing pointing him out, one of the funny things that we just got to see is he was marching his way towards the Shrine of Life to try to help getting that building. And as soon as he got there, the building was taken. And then he double backed all the way trying to go towards the desert altar, then double backed again. When you have a strategy and you have a tactic that requires you to play a certain role, but the other team is falling for the tactic too hard, it sometimes can cause a disarray in your own camp, right? I mean, I was supposed to make this play after they made that play, except that they never made that play. So what do I do now? It's one of those situations where OUO keep falling for the little things that White Tigers are doing, like, for example, breaking up a rally right next to a desert altar that was meant for open field pressure on a rally that was here. OUO read that play correctly and canceled their rally, but it's these little things that White Tigers expect OUO to do, but then they don't do them, and all of a sudden White Tigers find themselves saying, all right, open field combat it is. We can do that too.
Yeah, last week I ran into the same thing. You know, we had a strategy, and I kept trying to follow the strategy, but the enemy, they were just doing stuff to, I guess, counter what we had planned. So it kind of threw me off. So I definitely understand them not being able to do certain things that they want to do here. They're not getting as much pressure on Bravo's side as the Alpha side. So they're just kind of playing around with OUO right now down on Bravo.
Yes, they are indeed.
The Alpha is definitely getting more action.
For sure. We're seeing Shrine of Life being secured after a big boy rally by OUO. In return, White Tigers are looking to hit this altar away from OUO, who don't have any presence almost at all in here. They're marching their way towards presence on the Sky Altar. If this Sky Altar falls in the favor of White Tigers, there's pretty much nothing left in the tank of OUO. With 15 minutes remaining, there is very little left in the tank regardless. But what can we do? This is just about that, I guess. It's just about that. The end of this match, really, if this goes down.
I think this is an Ethel rally on Alpha side Sky Altar.
An Ethel rally on the Alpha side. It is an Ethel rally. You are correct. No, it is? No, it's not. It's not.
There's so many people there. I can't tell if she's leading the rally.
No, she doesn't have the emblem right next to her name from what I'm seeing. Nope. Someone else is back there. No, it is her. That's weird. The emblem should have been right next to her name when I clicked on her. It is her. It is that Ethelfled leading that rally on the Sky Altar. And that Richard tank was just everything they needed to get a counter rally set on the rally on the Sky Altar and to bring themselves some open field reinforcements into the Sky Altar. OUO holding on to the Sky Altar like it's the last thing they have available to them, and it really is. While all that is going on, they are threatening at the bottom Shrine of Life. A swarm by Mole seems to be very successful. The rally by King of the Britons. The rally is bringing down the Shrine of Life quite fast. Red Arrow might make it in last second, and he did. The last second clutch to hold on to the Shrine of Life just a little bit longer. It doesn't seem like he's really going to have too much success at this point at holding on to the Shrine of Life. Even though he does have marches coming in closer and closer, I believe those won't be able to make it in as slickly as his first marches. There goes the Shrine of Life. They also tried fighting that top desert, or the top obelisk of blue. We did see that blinking for a moment, but that went away. That rally was taken care of very quickly. And this desert altar, Paisan has not moved out of here for a moment. He's holding on to this place like it's his house. And it has been. The desert altar has been theirs for as long as I can think of, really.
Yeah, I'm not seeing too much real strong pressure right now from OUO. They're just poking and prodding, but no real pressure.
Not at all. King Talib about to show up in this Shrine of Life. That red arrow started chunking down, and he is just standing by. It's almost like he doesn't want to mix the parties. He wants to let the red arrow do his thing, and then he can come in and enjoy some of the fighting as well. But nope, he just goes straight into that Shrine of Life. And with a swarm, 7 marches in here on the Shrine of Life, maybe a little bit less now that one march is about to go down. This Shrine of Life converts back, but it can only hold 2 marches in it as the defenders, as King Talib and Red Arrow are in here alone. So there is place for OUO to take this back. But for White Tigers, at this point, all they're doing is, as long as they can reset the timers, the occupation timers on every single building that belongs to OUO, they're happy. And they're already happy, right?
So I think the White Tigers are kind of keeping them occupied in their obelisk area by rallying 2 separate objects, giving them time to lock in the Shrine of Life if they had planned it correctly.
Yeah, it's weird that what White Tigers keep doing is Shrine of Life, Desert Altar, Shrine of Life, Desert Altar. They just keep those OUO marches going at the bottom. Altar, Shrine, Altar, Shrine. They keep going back and forth trying to catch the White Tigers, but it's just not helpful. It's not working for them. Nothing is really working for them, to the point where Butter is chilling by himself next to the Ark of Osiris, picking it up by himself. There is no one contesting a single thing in here. Butter is just chilling, making his way with the 3rd arc of the match. 11 minutes remaining and a 4 minute 20-second march on this freaking Ark of Osiris, making its way out to the back outpost. 26,000 points lead. He is being targeted from someone from behind by the looks of it. There is a march with arrows coming in from behind, but it could be a scout coming around this bend right here. We're seeing him getting targeted, but if we look at the open field, anywhere within the area that he should be worried about, all we see is sand and provisions, as the way towards the outpost is as clear as it can be. For Butter, it's just, send and forget. Good to go. This march is just marching. And now let's go have some more fun all over the place. As OUO were never able to take away from the White Tigers more than 1 altar. They were never able to get more than 1, and better yet, hold on to more than 1. They have been able to convert them. They are trying to convert the Desert Altar right now, but they've never been able to hold on to it long enough for it to be significant.
Yeah, they are grinding at the Bravo Desert Altar again. I don't think they have a chance of taking that. But Tigers are rallying the cities down in the bottom obelisk.
Yes, they are. We are watching 2 marches right in front of us, marching their way down towards the camps that are the OUO camps. We're looking at 2 cities being targeted with rallies, those rallies crossing by going, yo, where are you going? I'm going here. Oh, I'm going right next to you. Cool. Have fun. Cheers. And on their way they go. It looks like one is a mixed march, a mixed armies march with a Caesar at the helm, and the other one is a full range YSG led march. It looks like both are going towards cities rather than towards the actual building here, the obelisk. Ain's own goal, whatever. Sorry if I butchered your name, my man. Is going for Yun, one of the most prominent members of OUO, one of their rally leaders, is about to take a decent beating out of this rally. And funny story, White Tigers don't even care about the obelisk. They're going straight for the cities. 83 million power and 60
They are
million.
just trying to pull enemy troops back to the obelisk instead of letting them attack the desert altar.
Yep.
Which looks like they are going to take the Bravo side desert altar.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, the folks of OUO were able to convert these buildings quite a couple times, but they were never able to hold on to it. This time around, Yun, who is getting massively beat up on his city, has a decent presence up here, which is not good for his city. But as of right now, it's fantastic for this desert altar that finally went red. And let's see how long it can sustain the red presence, as there is a relatively full march in there right now with a Richard holding on to the building. But the pressure that White Tigers keep putting on OUO, just never letting them take a breathe, I don't believe they'll be able to hold on for as long as they should, really.
Yeah, I see Tigers getting ready to set up a few more rallies here.
Yes, sir. 8 rallies being casted right now, and out of those, we have 7 that are White Tiger rallies, and these 7 are aiming at city, and city. Cities all over the place, and my goodness, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it. Looks like, well, it doesn't look like it. It is what it is, right? The victory did already go in favor of the folks of White Tiger. Now, they're trying to have a little bit of fun. They're trying to get a little bit of extra kills. They're trying to get a little bit of extra enjoyment out of their Ark of Osiris time. Chat, I think it's time, 7 minutes remaining in the match, that we spam those G's in the favor of the folks of White Tigers, who took the victory today against OUO with rallies all over this bottom area. GG's to OUO. It was a fantastic attempt at trying to hold on to their position in the playoffs, but you can't try against the Tigers. It's either you do it or you don't. It's so hard to stop the train that are these big alliances once it starts rolling and picking up momentum. It's just impossible. GG indeed to our friend Chisco Gaming, who is on the open field right now rallying this obelisk right here. And it looks like his rally will not be successful, but I highly doubt it was intended to be successful. It was intended to do what it's doing.
As the city just went down with a Lahar as a defense hero. That was horrible.
Yeah, if you take a look, this guy has so many open field marches right next to that obelisk.
Yeah,
that
Lahar all of his heroes out.
Yes, sir. All of his heroes are out on the open field, so Lahar was the next.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, sir. It is one of the things you got to keep in mind when you have your commanders out. When those commanders are out, you have some space. You have some space that it leaves vulnerabilities in your city. And you really have to make sure that that city is well protected before you do something crazy, especially during events like Lost Kingdom and things like that. If you place yourself out of position and all of a sudden your troops are out fighting in the open field, you can really take a beating. And that guy took a huge beating on this Ark battleground. OUO holding on to their 2 altars. At this point, it's a bit too little too late. They really dwindled down the points per minute game to 120 in the favor of White Tigers, 560 against 440. Let's take a quick look at the solo points. Double check everybody is good to go. OUO missing 1 individual with 8.6 thousand points. Plenty of time in 5 minutes to get those 1.4k points. This is when you suicide all your troops onto someone, onto a building, onto anything, just to get those 1,400 points and get the extra rewards that come with 10,000 points in the solo part of Ark of Osiris. White Tigers, 13,000 and above, all 30. And the person leading the fray in here would be King of Armenia with 100,000 points, looking to be the champion of Egypt of this match.
Yeah, he just finished it off with a Frederick-led rally.
He just finished it off with a Frederick-led rally. That's how you do it. That's how you do it right there. And with Abby really hitting hard on that OUO Shrine of War up on the top. On top of that, there is another set of rallies and hits by Stats on the Sky Altar, which seems to be in a very, very dangerous position to fall out of the hands of OUO for the first time in a long time. The Sky Altar is very vulnerable. The only buildings blinking are red. It is White Tigers putting on the pressure and maintaining it. They know that they won this match. They have known it for quite some time. And yet what they're doing is they're employing every single part of their strategy all the way to the end to make sure that they do have the coordination of the end game down to the T in case they find themselves in a close matchup. You really have to be able to. It's funny, and you can be you can give us an example of that. I'm sure you'll agree with me on this one. When you win a match very, very early on, you don't really care about the last 20 minutes, right? You start being a little more loose, a little bit more taking more risks and not really caring. But when you lose a match and that match is close, those last 5 minutes can be the most, or 10, even 15 minutes can be the most hectic, crazy time. And the reason most of these alliances have a hectic, crazy time is because they never had to fight till that late. So White Tigers seem to want to fight all the way to the end to ensure that they can cruise through their whole strategy from A to Z and play all the way to the last minute. Have you ever had this situation happen to you? Both situations where you both won so early that you truly didn't care for the rest, and a situation where you guys either won or lost in the last minute and it was just chaos?
Oh, definitely. I was in the Ark with Dragothian when he pulled out the hat trick, where he placed the Ark, or we placed the Ark in a, what was that little building he took? The outpost of Seth. The enemy outpost of Seth. He took it at the last second, and we were able to place the Ark and actually won the match. That was actually one of the closest matches we've had.
Yeah, and those last 15 minutes are like, we're putting everything we have and we're winning, but we're losing, but we're winning, but we're losing, and everybody starts going a little more to lose their focus, right? So it looks like what White Tigers are doing.
Everyone was in panic mode. Everyone was all over the place. He just happened to have a troop marching across the field and out of nowhere shot over to the outpost and was able to actually take it. And we didn't know if we were going to be able to, stop them. If they would have placed it, we would have lost. So he was able to take that and stop them from winning the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the craziness that is people panicking. I think that it's a really good play by White Tigers to keep calm and stay in this match till the very end. And even though they've already won, show the respect to their opposition. Now, someone in the chat is asking whether we're gonna tell you how big is Big Rick. Big Rick, how much power do you have on your account right now?
How much what?
Power do you have on your account right now?
I think, I'm sitting at 115 million power. So I'm not going to grow any until after probably a week. So I'm going to keep it at this power intentionally for a reason.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Basically for migration.
Yep, and so that's how big Big Rick is in terms of power. How big is he in the real world? I don't know. Maybe he is not that big. Maybe he is skinny and tall. You never know.
Well, I played rugby for 13 years, so I'm 6'4", about 265.
And that's the answer for you right there. Is he gonna tell us how big is Big Rick? Well, is his Rick? I read the joke. Awesome Frog. I just converted it to something a little more PG. When is Osiris shop going to open? I am assuming that after this week. I'm assuming that after this round of Osiris League ends up, we will see the Osiris shop open up. That's an assumption. Again, it could open in the last week of Osiris League to kind of get you to keep holding on to these coins for a little bit longer. I'm not entirely sure whether or not the shop will open at this time or not, but estimation based on the things that I've understood, it could be at the end of today, I believe. And if not, it'll definitely open up. Your coins are definitely being secured. Don't worry, they are in your account and you'll be able to spend them, but maybe not as soon as we all wanted to. The defeat shows up on the screen, and King of Armenia indeed taking the champion of Egypt. Very well played by the folks of White Tiger, who really showed a lot of tenacity in this match. And let's go take a look at the quick stats at the end. White Tigers with very, very little healing happening. 630,000 troops, kind of like a little tickle worth of healing. And we're seeing a total kills difference between these two alliances that really tells a huge story. The reason this is so close and there are so many kills is that it's those open field combats, right? We were talking about that open field combat so much. And these guys combated for so long to get that arc, to get just presence on the open field, that the total kills are devastating. Occupation score in the favor of White Tigers, and so is Ark of Osiris score. Very little space for OUO to be able to get anything done. Big Rick, do we have any final thoughts from you on this match? Any insights you've managed to catch on, or anything you'd like to close this cast with?
No, it was a real interesting match. I think OUO had a nice little strategy up front, but it fell apart kind of quick for them when they concentrated on that first arc way too much. That was about it.
Yeah, they definitely had a little bit of a tough time when it came to that arc right there. They struggled for the arc. They struggled through the match to hold on to a couple of the most key important things in Ark of Osiris, primarily 4 altars falling in the favor of White Tigers very, very early on in the match, and only 1 really being secured through the match by OUO. It's not enough to win an Ark of Osiris. Big Rick, my friend, thank you very much for being here with us on a cast, co-casting with me this final match. Have a great day, my man, and hopefully we'll see you again, either on a cast, but for sure in the chat. Take care.
Oh, yeah. All right, y'all have a good one.
And let's head back to the analyst desk for a final goodbye kind of thing. Close out this week and see where we go from there. I kind of really don't know if we can call it an analyst desk, but whatever. All right, so we are done. It was another week of Osiris League. We wrapped things up. 5 matches casted today, 5 matches up, 5 matches down, and we are done for. The groups stage of the playoffs is done. We have our top 16 who are going up to a sudden death. Round of 16, winner advances, loser eliminated. From here on out, every week we're going to get a little bit less matches, but more intensity. These are the top 16 teams in Osiris League. We can potentially figure out how to give them a quick shout out, go really quickly on the other monitor, take a look at what's going on Osiris League, kind of like a small impromptu thing that really wasn't planned out ahead of time. But hey, I think it's still worth to give a shout out to all these awesome people who made it to the Osiris League top 16 playoffs. We're talking about White Tigers, Legends Gaming, OV, the Overlords, Art of War, NB2, Anonymous Assassins, IKM, TX46, 1093, C9N, NB1, 1NB8, JWM, DSP, 96RZ, and UCS. These are our top 16. All the matches are done. Everything is done for, and now we will wait for the next leg of the tournament to appear to show us who's going up against who. There are going to be some very, very mad, fun matches coming up in the next couple of weeks. You guys really don't want to miss out the likes of JWM against NBs, the likes of White Tigers against the folks from NB, the DSP folks coming in strong, 1093 swinging for the fences, C9N, 96RZ, the Royals are some of the dark horses of our tournament, and they are really blasting through. Some of these folks are still undefeated in the game mode that is Ark of Osiris. What an unbelievable tournament. Thank you guys very much for being part of this journey with us. I'm going to wrap it up here, letting you guys know that this cast was brought to you by the content creators of Rise of Kingdoms as well as Lilith Gaming. Down below, you'll find all of our links. Come say hi, subscribe to the channels, comment on the videos, let us know that you came from the cast. We'll definitely make sure to hook you up with at least a nice reply. We always reply to majority, if not all, of the comments, so make sure to leave us one in the video. Let us know how you guys like the casts. We take, of course, feedback. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everybody has a little bit of everything. All of that in the channels of their respective content creators. And of course, don't forget to smash a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel, the Rise of Kingdoms official channel. It's been a long day. I'm going to sleep. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Enjoy your rest of your weekend. Take care, and hopefully next time we see each other, the matches are going to be substantially more competitive, substantially harder, and the betting might get really, really juicy. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.